Hello there. Welcome to the basement. Today, this video, we got to talk about Tales of the Jedi just dropped. Oh man, that was good. Good shit. All 6 episodes were really, really good. Um, they were dark. Well, some were dark, some had a little bit more hope in them than others. They were all intense. They were all in your face. They were all basically all the best parts of Andor, plus all the stuff that the rest of the stuff you like about Star Wars too: mysticism, Jedi versus Sith, lightsabers, pew pew, all the goods that you could want. Dave Filoni did provide. Um, so, like I said, there's 6 episodes. 3 dedicated to Ahsoka, 3 dedicated to one Count Dooku / Lord Tyrannus. Um, the first episode was the birth of Ahsoka, and then they time jump to where she's a year old. And long story short, saber-toothed tiger takes her into the woods. She boops it on the nose and makes a carrier back to the village because she's that strong with the Force at 12 to 14 months old already. So that was kind of dope. Obviously, the episode was longer and that story's more involved. But what it breaks down to is that portrayal of Togrutan society was very Native American-like, which was really, really cool. They have a very cool spirituality, and it's cool to experience. And then, of course, a toddler who can't even really toddle, still a baby, you know, tames a saber-toothed tiger and makes a carrier back to her home village and her parents. So yeah, it's pretty freaking cool. I mean, it gives you a really good perspective on how powerful Ahsoka actually is. And then the next 3 episodes are all about Count Dooku and his descent to the dark side. The first 2 episodes are somewhat similar stories. They both involve senatorial corruption at the expense of the people they're supposed to be serving. And of course, these incidents are pushing Dooku further and further down the path to the dark side as his dissatisfaction with the Senate / the Republic and the Jedi Order and its close ties to the Senate. That shizzle disgusts him. He doesn't like it. He feels, and he's correct, that the Republic and the Jedi, as a result of their close ties, are all becoming corrupt, and that the Jedi priorities have shifted from just following the Force and being actual true keepers of the peace to basically the Senate's kind of go-tos for the worst situations. Sometimes it's negotiations, sometimes it's it can end up being enforcement, and Dooku didn't like that stuff. So those first 2 episodes both really showed you how the conditions in the galaxy are really getting in his face and pissing him off. And then the third episode basically shows the completion of his descent. It shows him deleting the records to Camino. And then, because he was followed to a meeting with Sidious by Master Yaddle, Sidious ordered him to kill Yaddle. They had a really, really cool fight. He drops his big-ass door on her. She goes all Hulk Hogan, lifts it up with the Force. But then she's got nothing left, collapses. Dooku goes over to her, tells her something like, "I'm only doing this to bring peace and order to the galaxy." She's like, something. Basically, she tells him his notion of order's fucked. And then he says, "Well, in that case, let me grant you peace." And, dusts her with the lightsaber, thus completing his descent to the dark side. And, so, yeah, 3 Dooku episodes were freaking cool. And then the last 2 episodes had to do with Ahsoka. The first of which is basically Anakin. She starts off doing really well in a test against, the upgraded training droids with more blasters and whatnot. But, she dusts them, as you would expect Ahsoka to do. And Anakin's like, that test was shit. You want a real test? She's like, sure. So basically, what ends up happening is he sticks her in between Captain Rex and a circle of the 501st, with their weapon set on stun, and he's like, "Last as long as you can." And she ends up getting blasted quite a few times, knocked out quite a few times. Um, I mean, the whole point of this episode was basically came down to a conversation they two where Anakin's like, "I know this is, something to the effect of, I know this is rough, but it is my duty to protect you, and the best way I can protect you is to teach you to protect yourself." Which basically ended the whole pep talk, and she kept going until she was really, really successful with it, of course. And the cool part being that the drilling and the maneuvers she ended up using ended up literally saving her life at the end of at the end of season 7 of Clone Wars. So that was dope. And then the third episode has her, basically kind of starting off in Obi-Wan mode. She's in, some nameless farm on some backwater planet, just doing day labor and calling it a day. And of course, an incident happens with a girl almost getting killed because her idiot brother's negligent. And she uses the Force to save her. The girl notices, tells Ahsoka she notices. Ahsoka's like, "Shut the fuck up, don't say anything." Unfortunately, the sister keeps dropping hints, and her idiot brother, who by that point in time has made himself known as an Imperial loyalist, also forms his suspicions about Ahsoka, and after his sister and Ahsoka leave on a trip, he turns Ahsoka into the Empire. So when Ahsoka and the sister come back from the trip, they come back to find the village completely in flames, all the rest of the villagers slaughtered except for the idiot brother and his sister's father. So Ahsoka's like, "Well, yeah, I'm done. You're done letting you do this." So she fights him. She doesn't have her saber. She basically treats him like Vader treated Reva. She just dodged and did whatever, and then took his own weapon and fucking killed him with it. Literally. Block, elbow, snag weapon, behead. Done. She yeeted his ass in like 15 seconds. It was fantastic. I will admit, I was kind of hoping for a bit more of an actual duel per se, but once I realized she didn't have her sabers, shit. And like I said, she dusted him in like 15 seconds or less, so it was awesome. And so of course at the end, she calls in a favor from Bail. He takes the villagers away, and as a result of that, he's like, "You want to get back into the fight?" And she's like, with this brilliant, you just got to see it. You have to watch it to get the full feels. I can't communicate the full feels of this shit. I'm doing my best, but basically what it comes down to is Tales of the Jedi is awesome, fantastic, ridiculous, fire, the shit, the shizzle, insert complimentary adjective as fuck. It's great. And it's the best Star Wars easily since the end of Mando season 2. There's literally, at least for me, nothing disappointing about it at all. Not one single thing. So all I can say is watch it. You'll love it. If you like Star Wars even this much, you'll love it. So yeah, Tales of the Jedi. Fantastic. So that's pretty much all I got to say about it. So hit that thumbs up. Comment down below. Hit that little subscribe button. And remember, there's always a good time to be had when you're chilling in the basement.